My first best bet is going to be Iowa money line minus 165. They're laying 3.5, but rather than the 3.5, I'll take the money line at minus 165. It's senior day at Iowa. A lot is on the line because with the win, the Hawkeyes will secure their spot in the Big Ten championship game. And let's face it, it's not pretty the way that Iowa wins these football games, but they're winning. Defensively, they ranked third in the nation. They're giving up only 12.3 points per game. Their defense right now is playing better than anybody in the country. They've allowed just one touchdown over their last 16 quarters. They've allowed 3 touchdowns over their last 24 quarters of football. The rushing defense has allowed just 1 touchdown all season. They're the only team in the country that can say that. Only 1 rushing touchdown allowed. And as far as this matchup against Illinois, the Hawkeyes have won the last 7 straight games in this series at home. And Illinois allowed Indiana to score 45 points last week. And Iowa's actually coming off one of their better offensive games. Stephen Hill, career high 223 yards against Rutgers, 20 of 31 passing. He did throw an interception at the goal line. Probably should have had more points last week. Iowa's at home with a lot to play for. Side note, they've won 16 of their last 17 games in November. So this is the perfect recipe for Iowa to win this football game.
Iowa, they were able to get some real margin last week against Rutgers, and the 22 points that they scored was the second highest total they've put up in conference play this year. And in that game, there were still 22 total points scored.
Yeah.
I like under 30.5 here.
Okay.
Altmaier missed the game last week for Illinois. All he did was put up the second most passing yards of anyone in a game this season. I don't know where that came from, but John Paddock, 507 yards of passing for John Paddock. Only Shedeur Sanders has done more in a game. That said, it was against Indiana, and Indiana is one of the worst pass defenses in the country. Iowa, arguably the best secondary in the country. They are third in coverage per PFF. That's not it, though. They also allow the least rushing explosiveness on the ground in the whole country. So how do you score? My guess is that Illinois just doesn't score. Last week was an exception, not the rule for Illinois. Iowa, it was business as usual. They win games with defense and special teams. I think they do it again here. So I like your bet. I like your bet, but I also like the under 30.5 in this game.